Merciless congregation of Princeton, we're an open and welcoming community. We live our message of hope, love, justice, and joy. We are so happy to welcome everyone, and especially our visitors this morning. We're glad that you joined us, and we'd love to get to know more about you. If you haven't already, stop by the newcomer table just outside those back doors in Robinson Lounge. Please do so after the service so that we can add you to our e-lists and let you know about the many different events that we have coming up here at UU Princeton, some of which are today. After the service, we have a green burial program and update. This is a big project of our congregation to create a local natural burial site. It's guided by a task force of wonderful volunteers who have important information to share with us, so stick around for the service after that. Or today is also our 4th Sunday Zen group gathering after worship. The group will be meeting in the Memorial Garden, which is on our grounds over there by the woods, at first this morning to chant the Heart Sutra as we add the sand and water that we'll collect later in the service today to that sacred and beautiful space of beloved memory. The group will then reconvene in Foz Theater for seated meditation and a Dharma discussion. Whether one is a beginner or a seasoned meditator, all are welcome to join that group. And we hope that you'll mark your calendar for sharing our gifts and making connections at UU Princeton on Sunday, October 6th after the worship service. This is coordinated by our Leadership Development and Nominating Committee and is a time to learn about the many opportunities there are here for you to share your gifts and skills and passions with the congregation. This event will host folks from many of our committees and programs and interest groups who will be happy to tell you about what they do and provide you with opportunities to get involved. Again, that is on October 6th after the worship service 2 weeks from today. And Margie has an announcement about our music ministry program.
So today at 4, we are having our annual open house, which means the adult choir and the bell choir gather here. We have refreshments, and then you, as guests, get to see what being in an ensemble is all about. So you can be just a guest and see how it works, or you can just screw up your courage and see what it's all about to sing. It's a friend, both groups are really friendly people. They are welcoming, and your experience doesn't matter a hoot. So 4 o'clock today from 4 to 6. Thanks.
Thank you, Margie. And now at this sacred hour, grateful for each and welcoming all, let us be together for a time of peace and balance, for a space of community and acceptance, a space in which to remember the good and seek the true, and to look together toward that love that holds all. Come, let us worship together.
Empty your mind, be formless, shapeless like water. You put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes a teapot. Water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend. Bruce Lee.
A great way to build connections and grow in the spirit here at UU Princeton is to join a chalice circle. We form these every fall, and then they kind of last for the whole year. And to talk about her experience in a chalice circle, Penny Gardner.
Good morning. It's nice to be with you all today. I had a very bad breakup with my former church. Long story short, it seems covenants are subject to interpretation, and ultimately, I was set adrift. I remain hurt, angry, and unnerved. I had believed in that church. I had trusted those people. I arrived here one Sunday, lost, lonely, and beaten down. By the time we sang the final hymn, I had tears of joy in my eyes for being welcomed into community again. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for offering me a safe harbor during a time of great personal turmoil. You gave me back my sense of dignity and worth. I always will remember the unique warmth I felt that day, and I will be forever grateful for your kindness and acceptance. While I am hesitant to sign another membership book, I also don't want to be alone. So when I saw the notice for a chalice circle, I latched on. Baby steps, I told myself. Just get to know a few folks and see how it goes. And here's the first thing I want to lift up about chalice circles. If you are new or relatively so, or for whatever reason still feel a little bit apart, Chalice circles can become your posse. Within this larger circle of congregants, I now have a small group of folks who know me, folks who I can talk to during coffee hour, to ask questions of and learn more about this place. It has helped me to go from feeling like an outsider to being a newcomer. This is the third iteration of Chalice Circles I've participated in, and it is the Goldilocks version. No heavy lifting required. It offers a means to be connected without the obligation of serving on a committee or agreeing to do some sort of support task. It is a time apart from all the demands of life wherein you actually get to collect your thoughts on meaningful matters which might otherwise escape contemplation. No one is asking you to give of yourself. Rather, Chalice Circles is the gift you give to yourself. Sharing isn't mandatory, but instead, as you are inspired to do so. And so for those gentle souls who fear public speaking more than death, worry not. It is never a command performance. You speak only when the Spirit moves you to do so, and in a safe space. The only challenging part of Chalice Circles is to engage in deep listening. There is no feedback, and we agree not to give advice or consolation, well-intentioned as it may be. It is not a normal conversation, and it takes some getting used to. But this means ideas and feelings flow without question or judgment. By not formulating responses, our brains remain unencumbered, allowing us to fully absorb what is being shared. We are there to listen, not to analyze or to fix anything. This is a useful skill with value beyond our time together. What I love most about Chalice Circles is the idea of ordinary wisdom. Scholars, theologians, TV pundits, no one has a monopoly on all the good commentary, with all due respect. But all of us have ways of seeing things informed by experiences, readings, or any number of sources. I really enjoy hearing the perspectives of others and being open to letting them affect my own thoughts as they continue to evolve. I often find ideas shared in Chalice Circles reverberating for days or weeks or longer, and I hope that ultimately they help me to become a better, well-rounded, well-informed, and insightful person. You just never know how someone else's words can change you. It is for me a delightful opportunity, and I look forward to it every month. I believe so much in Chalice Circles that I agreed to help out and facilitate a group. I guess those baby steps are getting bigger. So I will be in the lobby after service to answer questions and gather contact information for potential participants. If you are on the fence thinking, well, golly gee, this all sounds kind of nice, but I'm too busy for anything else, I'll leave you with one final thought. It's understandable to sometimes feel as though your plate is already full. I get it. But as I said before, Chalice Circles is the gift you give yourself. So many times our evenings end with someone saying, I really didn't know if I could make it tonight, but I'm so glad I did. Yes, you can make it, and most likely, you'll be so glad you did. Thank you.
We are so happy this morning to celebrate some of the newer members of UU Princeton. These are folks who have formally joined the congregation. They've signed the book, which symbolizes an agreement with our mission and our values, and a desire to help spread our message and offer what we offer to more and more people in Mercer County. The congregation of today is built by members of yesterday and today, and we're building the congregation of tomorrow together. Now, it's been a while since we've celebrated our new members, so some of our newer members are kind of familiar. They're already in different leadership roles in the congregation, but we're celebrating everyone just the same. I'm pleased to invite Linda Benson, Judy V., and Jean DeVoe to head down there. They're going to introduce folks to you. And our newer members, when you hear your name called, we invite you to come on up to the front. As I promised you in the emails, you won't have to public speak at all. You won't have to say anything, but this way folks will see you. And then we'll do a litany and a hymn. So Linda, please start us off.
Suzanne Appel. Okay. Susanna Pell lives in Franklin Park. She came to the congregation 2 years ago after her husband passed away looking for community. And she's been so happy to find an amazing community here. We welcome you, Suzanne.
Audrey Pico, Mike Loney, and Clem Zimmer. Audrey, Mike, and Clem relocated from Brooklyn, New York, to the Princeton area in 2021 and joined UUCP in the summer of 2022. Since joining, they have become involved with the music ministry, the Rainbow Ministry, UU Faith Action, ushering, fellowship night, and tech support. Wow. They are grateful for the warm welcome and continued friendship they have received. We welcome you.
Jen, Dave, Emma, and Max Dickinson. There. Emma's representing the Dickinson family. Welcome to the family. Jennifer is a visiting nurse, Dave is a carpenter, and they have 2 beautiful children, Max, age 12, and Emma, age 9. They live on a beautiful little farm in Ringgoes, New Jersey, where they care for chickens and ducks, fish, and frogs. They have a dog, 3 cats, 2 ferrets, and will be adopting another dog and cat soon. Dickinsons are excited to become members of this thriving community and look forward to growing together with you. We welcome you.
Josephine Minardo. Josephine Minardo and her 2 daughters, Lucia and Valentino, relocated to New Jersey from Westchester, New York in 2021 and were members of the White Plains UU since 2018, where the girls were dedicated. Josephine was born and raised in New York City, but has many connections to New Jersey. She is proud to be a single mother by choice and loves her career as a clinical psychologist. When not busy raising her girls or seeing patients, Josephine enjoys the arts, listening to audiobooks, doing puzzles, and extreme couponing as a hobby. We welcome you.
Antoinette Armosil. Did I pronounce that right? Antoinette is a New Jersey native. She moved to Princeton a couple of years ago, but has been in love with the place her whole life. Avid reader and lifelong student, and she got her undergraduate degree in philosophy in 2020. She greatly appreciates how UUCP members genuinely embrace its members' worldviews openly and eagerly. We welcome you.
Isabella Morales. Isabella is an author, historian, and proud alto. She lives with her husband and 2 beautiful guinea pigs in Lawrence Township, where she enjoys playing tennis and sewing elaborate Halloween costumes. Isabella originally comes from Southern California, but greatly prefers New Jersey beaches. She joined the adult choir in 2014 and has loved singing with Margie and the gang for the past 10 years. We welcome her.
Bob Munson. When Bob was a freshman at Oregon State, he made the rounds of churches of every congregation in Corvallis. This was a reprise of the visits he made with his dad the summer before high school. Corvallis had a UU fellowship, and Bob has been in UU ever since his first visit. We welcome you, Bob.
Emma Moore. Emma Moore grew up just down the road in Lawrence and attended Princeton's Quaker meeting as a child. She almost left New Jersey a few times, but love for her home drew her back. And when she moved to Princeton as an adult, she found herself direly in need of community. Seeing UUCP members at local social justice activities, Emma snuck into church late in 2021. Her first church activity was the choir, but it certainly wasn't the last. And I'm just going to add here that Emma's also on the board of trustees for the church. She's grateful for her church family for providing a place where she can be her whole weird self. We welcome you.
Michael Van Pelt. Michael has been coming to UUCP for 3 years. He was born and raised in Trenton and has lived in New Jersey his entire life. He's a registered nurse. In his free time, he likes to cook, garden, read, listen to music, hike, bike, and watch movies. And Michael says that on the 4th and 5th Sundays of the month, he turns the church's audio system on and off. We welcome you.
Rachel Lee Holstein. Rachel Lee and Amara, hi, live in Lawrenceville with their cat, Pretty Girl. They are relatively new to the area, having moved here from the San Francisco Bay Area about 2 years ago. Rachel Lee was raised Unitarian Universalist and is thrilled to continue that journey as Amara's mom. She works as a development professional in nonprofit fundraising and marketing. Amara loves to swim, draw, and build with magnetiles. After my time. They are excited to join the UU Princeton community. We welcome you.
Helen Richardson and her son Thomas. In her spare time, Helen likes to go for walks, train her dogs, read the news, and go to ballroom dancing classes. Helen has also been doing many sessions of energy spirituality over the last 10 years, which has helped her a lot. And Helen participates in associated blogs as well. Her son Thomas enjoys traveling, movies, seeing his friends, swimming, and using his imagination to explore concepts far and wide, such as what is it like on the other side? Also, what is it like to be an angel? We welcome you.
Irene Dunn. Irene has been attending UUCP for over a year now, just officially became a member earlier this year, and plans to help Emma this year with young adult group organizing. Irene sings in the choir, although she's taking a hiatus at the moment to do more social dancing. She also loves her dog, nutritious and delicious food, plants, and the outdoors. She currently works in environmental compliance, making sure road and bridge projects follow environmental regulations. When she started going to a UU church in Brighton, Michigan, near where she lived for a few years, the UU faith felt just right to her. Now she's back in New Jersey and at UUCP, which is an absolutely wonderful community as well. We welcome you.
Veronique Oman. Veronique was born and raised in the Netherlands in a non-practicing Catholic family coming from Belgium, her mom, and south of Netherlands, her dad. She's happily married to a Dutchman. Together they have a daughter now in the last year at University of Wisconsin. She came to the Princeton area together with her husband 20 years ago. She works in clean energy for the state of New Jersey, which she finds fulfilling. Active rower with the Carnegie Lake Rowing Association, participating in masters competitions. She also does CrossFit and has competed in the past. She's been to UU for a little over a year, and she came to find a place for reflection, community, and shared values. She finds UU Princeton's values of hope, love, justice, and joy to reflect her own. She's a member of the Rainbow Ministry and recently joined the Welcoming Table, thank you, and is very happy to be part of this community. We welcome you.
The Klon family, Jennifer, Tony, Max, and Nathaniel. Jennifer is a native of Washington State, while her husband Tony grew up in Alabama. Both of their sons were born in Philadelphia and have lived in New Jersey their entire lives. Jennifer is an avid sewer, and you will frequently find her wearing dresses, to service that she's made, which are beautiful. And Tony is a practitioner of historical European martial arts. Maximilian enjoys fiddling with anything related to machinery, while his little brother Nathaniel is a class clown and loves making people laugh. We all enjoy the diversity and free thinking that is part of UUCP, and we welcome you.
I invite you to join in the litany that was printed as an insert in your order of service. Your words are the words in italics. Blessed are those who yearn for deepening more than escape, who are not afraid to grow in spirit.
Blessed are those who take seriously the bonds of community, who regularly join in celebration and learning, who come as much to minister as to be ministered unto.
Blessed are those who bring their children, who invite their friends to come along to join in fellowship, service, learning, and growth.
Blessed are those who support the church and its work by their regular, sustaining, and generous giving.
Blessed are those, when asked to serve, do it gladly, who realize that change is brought about through human meeting, who do the work of committees and stay till the end. Blessed are they indeed. Let's give one more round of welcome to our newest members.
Good morning. I love the water communion. I look forward to it each year, and I always think about what it means. Webster's dictionary tells me that the first meaning of communion is the Christian sense of the word, in which Christians receive the sacrament. But I'm going to go with Webster's third definition, which defines communion as having intimate fellowship or rapport. That intimate fellowship and rapport is what our congregation is all about. My home UU church when I was a child was low on ceremony and very high on talk, at least to my young eyes and ears. And the water ceremony wasn't something I grew up with. But I did grow up nearby the water in my hometown of Freeport, Long Island, home of the nautical mile. My parents would pack us all up into their VW bus and whisk us off to the beach. And I learned that when I'm near the water, I can escape from the world, if only for a few minutes. These days, I stop most days on my work to meditate by Carnegie Lake. You may have seen me on my rock as you've whizzed by in your car. I love seeing the many moods of the lake through the seasons and all kinds of weather. Each day I wait to see what is new on the lake. An egret fishing, rowers practicing, a fisherman and his son trying to catch something. I appreciate the power of water and the water ceremony, but I must confess that when I first came to UUCP some 25 years ago and was here for the water ceremony, that wasn't the case. Back then, people didn't just bring their water up, they told the congregation where it came from. I know these comments were made with joy and life and love in the heart, but I found it off-putting. People would say, my water came from Capri. My water came from my beach house. It was admittedly fascinating to hear the origins of the water, but instead of feeling the power of the ceremony, I sat thinking what I would say when I brought my water in the following year. It didn't keep me away, just didn't give me the warm feeling the water ceremony does today. It may be that my reaction also reflected feeling a little bit isolated in those first years. I know we've become far more welcoming as a community since those days. We are intentional in our welcoming, and we are more self-aware. Still, I often return to my experience those first days to remind me what it was like to be an outsider. It reminds me how important it is to try to view our church and our practices from those eyes, and to always find opportunities to include people. The practice of announcing the origins of the water stopped a few years after I first came. I know there were people in the congregation who were disappointed because they missed the stories. And I believe those stories are important, but in my mind, they're still there in the water communion. They're unspoken, but they're there nonetheless. And without the words, we can sense all those places we've been and imagine the water coming from all over the map to blend together. I like to think about how my little jar of water could water one little cluster of flowers, but our communal water can water an entire garden and still be part of the ceremonies that mark our lives. It is a symbol of the power of individuals coming together for community. At our best, we are like the water when we are together, fluid and powerful and essential for the soul.
Thank you so much, Jean, for that reflection, in addition to being a worship associate and in our music ministry program and doing a million other things at UU Princeton. Jean's the president of our board this upcoming year, so it's great to thank you for doing that. My record was 13 one summer. 13 skips across the surface of a big lake upon which we canoed and in which we swam. At church camp, we would often spend time there. Though it was a long walk through the woods on hot and humid summer days to the lake, it was worth it for the fresh coolness of the water that awaited. Canoes waited and waited inevitably for us to tip them so that we would intentionally fall out. That was what we wanted. That was the point of canoeing in that particularly calm swimming lake, to tip them and fall out. The college-aged counselors would watch us kids repeat this ritual again and again, with their only warning being to make sure the canoes and paddles made their way back to shore. Once back on shore, we would drink bug juice, which was a green or red, sugary, very sugary beverage that I'm sure my doctor today would strongly advise me to avoid. And we would eat gorp, good old raisins and pretzels, or peanuts, usually with some chocolate chips in there too. The chocolate would melt and create these little clumps of gorp that stuck to your fingers and got in your fingernails. Hand washing never even occurred to us as we ate it all and licked our fingers clean. And sooner or later, one kid would pick up a stone and skip it. And they would be joined by another and another and another. Not everyone skipped them, but most of us did, and we would soon start counting skips to see who could get the most. I counted 13 one time, which was respectable. Some got more, though the 30 that Derek once claimed was not believable. No one got to 30 bounces across that water. You wouldn't even be able to see those later skips. I should probably let go of this, but it's just not possible. He didn't get 30 things. The stones tended to skip the same way, at first with big, fast jumps over the water, one or two big bounces with longer distances in the air, and then the distances would shorten and shorten. The stones would be in the air for less and less time, until sometimes the stone sort of just shuffled or slid across the water for a few feet before sinking. It would leave a little wake when it did that, like a little boat that eventually sunk. The stone was in our hands, weighted and balanced, angled and thrown, and then gone, back into the water which received them all without comment, much like it received us, tipping our canoes and swimming around without comment. In many, if not most, if not all creation myths, water is right there at the beginning. In some it's created, in some it pre-exists, and the work of creation is to collect the waters. In an ancient Babylonian tale, in the beginning there is salty and sweet water, and when the two combine, life sparks and surges. That's fresh water and salty water, or tears of sadness and tears of joy, all combining to form, in that story, more deities, in our world, more life and spirit. In the more well-known creation narrative in the Hebrew scriptures, water is separated into the sky and the earth, and then into bodies of water on the earth very early on. That happens over 2 days and just after light and dark are created. The first day is light and dark. The second is water in the sky and water below the sky. Before that, it was all just water, or sometimes imagined as kind of a primordial mist everywhere. And the third day is the water on the ground collecting into bodies so that dry land can appear. Water is collected and organized in our bodies as well, in our actual bodies. It feeds our cells and feeds our brains. Our own births play out a creation narrative where water is a star and sacred player from conception on. We are somewhere around 60 or 70% water. Most people can go weeks without food, but only days without water. We are more water than anything else. It organizes us, as the ancients imagined the gods organizing it. If we extend that creation motif of who creates or organizes what and when, then water is our divine source, for it creates us, the containers for us, and the conditions for our lives. And then at this service, every year, we gather to collect the waters. We bring water from our homes or travels that represents our larger lives and collect them in one common container. Each of us adds a little of what we've brought or what we've provided up here to symbolize our collecting into a community. We know life salty and life sweet. We know moments of clarity and moments of being in a misty abyss. And we know thirst and we know relief. And we know that together we can be like blessed water of relief and clarity and sweetness for one another. We can be waters of joy and solace. We can be a people of love that freshen barren spaces of hatred and offers healing and warmth and acceptance. We can be the water that the world needs to create itself anew as a place of more possibility and justice and forgiveness for everyone. We can be the water that even tends to all life and the earth and the skies and oceans and all beings, not with the power of gods, but with the collected power of people who can always organize and collect and make change. And this only happens when we come together. None of us have the mythical powers of those deities imagined by the ancient ones, and we shouldn't wait for those deities to arrive, for we have each other and this faith and this community. And in that, we have exactly what we need to serve one another and the world with hope, love, justice, and joy. When we come together and merge into a body of faith and serve in alignment with our values, we have everything we need to be a big, bold blessing in our lives and in this world. And we even have great neighbors and partners as well. This year, we've been gifted some of the sand that our Buddhist friends who recently visited used to make a mandala right here in Channing Hall. So you'll be invited to add just a little bit of that sand to the water to show gratitude to them. and to make symbolic our very real promise to live in peace and harmony and in the spirit of mutual care with our neighbors for as long as we are able. For none of us knows how long we'll skip along the surface before we return to that which holds all. We only know that we're here, blessed be, and among one another, blessed be, with love to offer and service to give and the good to serve, blessed be. Whether we sprightly leap or shuffle along, whether we walk or roll or rest, life calls us nonetheless to bless neighbor and stranger as abundantly as we are able. In this community, in this faith, proclaims that these blessings are sweeter when shared and stronger when built together. The need for our balm in this world is too great for any single creator. It is only community that will save us and everyone. So let us come together now and merge our water, merge our lives, that we may live into the strength and promise for as long as we are graced to skip along the sacred waters of life. May it be so, and amen. After the service, some of that water will find its way out to our memorial garden, where it will bless the ground of that beautiful space of beloved memory. And our Zen group will lead a heart sutra out there while we do it. Some of it will make its way home with me, where I will boil it thoroughly boil it, and it'll be used to bless babies in the years to come and the rings of people in our congregation who are getting married. It'll be joined to the water of last year's, which was joined to the water of years prior, so that thread continues year after year. At the end of our hour, we extinguish our chalice, knowing that His light stays with us until we gather again. Go forth grateful for the moments before you, the breath within you, the people among you, and the Spirit guiding you toward lives of love and kindness. And go forth knowing that you are held always and always with neighbor and stranger by that great love of no beginning and never ending. Go in peace, and amen.